All right, y'all. I think we are ready to kick things off. So, first and foremost, I just want to thank everyone for coming out to the making of Project Eden's Garden. Now, I have to confess, this is a really special moment for this team because not only has San Japan been our first convention working as a team, as a project, but this is our first panel ever. So just want to thank you all for coming out, showing your support. I know it means the world to everyone up here, as well as the rest of our team out in the audience. You can kind of see them in the first row. Yeah, wave your hand real quick if you're on the Project Eden Garden team. Give them a round of applause. All right, so today we've got a lot of good stuff planned for you. Quick kind of agenda for the panel. We'll start by doing some introductions so you can learn a little bit more about who's up here with me. We'll talk about what Project Eden's Garden is, and in case you're new to the project, maybe you've never heard of it, you just kind of wandered in here from San Japan. Don't worry, we'll give you the quick brief. And then we're going to talk about a little bit of the behind the scenes of the making of Eden's Garden's prologue. For those who might not be aware, we, in last December, released the prologue, chapter 0 of our game, which was about 4 hours of content, more than we expected. And this upcoming November, December, we're aiming to release the first chapter of the game. So the point of this panel is to really give you, kind of peel back the curtain of what it was like developing that prologue. Then we will have a fan Q&A section. So if you have any questions for any of our lovely panelists, that's your time to ask. And I will say that we have some prizes to give away here. So we will give out one of these 3 random prizes to someone who asks a question. So start thinking now as you're watching us go through here, what questions you might have. We'll reserve plenty of time for that at the end. And then finally, we'll talk about some upcoming events and release dates that we have planned for the project. All right, so let's jump right into it. So we'll start with some panelist introductions here. I will kick things off, although I am the most boring by far. Hi, everyone. My name is Dick Juvie Durden. Thank you. That's incredibly kind of y'all. Okay, so what about me? So my role on Eden's Garden is co-director with Taco, who we'll be talking about a little bit later. But I like to think of myself, I've been called many things. I've been called consulting director, technical director. I call myself chaperone. I've been in the game development industry for nearly 10 years now. I got my start on a little indie title called Duelist, you might be familiar with. It was a combination of kind of Hearthstone meets Final Fantasy Tactics. Got to work on that as a community manager, producer, designer, and QA for about 1.5 years, 2 years. I then transitioned into production where I worked on a PS5 launch title called Godfall. Worked on that for about 5 years through our major release, couple of expansions, all that good stuff. And then I somehow stumbled my way into this team. And the rest is history. It's been an amazing experience. A fun fact about me. I actually didn't plan this because I was so busy talking to these guys about their fun facts. A fun fact about me is my favorite game of all time is a little indie RPG gem from about 10 years ago called Lisa the Painful RPG. Oh my God, yes. Oh, how have we not talked about this, Lily? Okay, well, we'll save that for after the panel, but huge fan of that game. It's actually what inspired me to get into game development. I remember playing that in grad school while I was studying communication at Illinois State University, getting my master's. I played that game, and I completely pivoted my career out of teaching and into game development because the magic of that experience and the warm, fuzzy feelings it gave me made me want to create that for others, which is part of why I consider it such a blessing to be a part of this project and seeing how it's impacted so many lives. So that's me. Enough about me, because like I said, I'm the most boring one. So let's move on to our next panelist, Anthony.
Hi, I'm Anthony. I'm one of the 3D modelers for this project. For someone who said you had not much to say, I'm like, oh boy, 10 years experience, worked on this and this. Yeah, I've been doing 3D work for about 7 to 8 years now. Slowly getting into the industry, through this project. I don't know.
What's a fun fact about you?
What's a fun fact?
Tell us a fun fact.
I'm very cool. That's my fun fact.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm a funny guy.
Anthony is very cool, as you can tell from the blazer, right? So round of applause for Anthony. All right, next up, we have the man, the myth, the legend, our lead programmer, Sweden!
Hello, everyone. I am Benjamin Sweden Gilson. I'm the lead programmer of Project Eden's Garden. I've been programming for almost 3 years now, and I really got into doing game development because I love puzzles and I love video games, and programming has always been like a huge puzzle to me. And so getting to do that every day, now it's my job thanks to this project. It's been awesome. And a fun fact about me is that I have once spent 3 days trying to divide a value by 2 while programming. That was what I needed to do, but yeah.
Amazing. Give it up for Sweden. Next up, we have a couple of literal rock stars. Let's start things off with Robbie.
Hi, everyone. I'm Robbie Good. I am one of the 2 composers on Project Eden's Garden. I'd say I got my start in writing music because of video games. It was one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to get into music in the first place, because when I discovered that music didn't just appear out of thin air, but people actually did it themselves, I was like, wait, can I do that? Oh my God, can I also do that for things that I like playing? Project Eden's Garden is technically the first official video game that I've ever contributed music to in any sort of major capacity. And it's just been an incredible experience. I hopped on the project right as it was starting, right before the first trailer even dropped, because I saw some of the amazing artwork and production for the game right off the bat, and I was like, I have to get in on this project. And I've been around for 3+ years ever since. Fun fact about me is, as a part of my graduation requirements for school, I had to put on a recital for my composition degree. And as a part of that recital, I ended up conducting an orchestra playing the main theme of this game. And you can find that on YouTube. I'm not plugging myself, I'm just saying.
Oh, no. We are going to talk about it later, so thank you for teasing that. Yeah. So fun fact about Robbie, and you're going to hear this. This team is completely distributed, literally worldwide. We had people fly in from Germany, Denmark. I flew in from Nashville. We have California. I'm not going to remember everything off the top of my head. No. Not being specific. But Robbie was the only person who I had actually met prior to San Japan. The rest of us met up in person for the first time, literally at this convention. But Robbie and I were lucky enough to get brunch once, so that was pretty cool.
It was pretty cool.
It was pretty cool. Pretty cool guys. Next up, we got another composer, Hayden.
Hi, my name is Hayden. I started writing music about 7 or 8 years ago. I also got my start in video game music. It's what inspired me to want to write music. So this being my first game project, I literally couldn't ask for a better one. It's just been amazing. And seeing all you guys out here it makes it all worth it. It really does. And a fun fact about me, despite being 22, I've never driven a car, nor have I ridden a bike. So
That's not a fun fact.
we'll get there one day.
Give it up for Hayden.
Yeah.
I'm going to give a bonus fun fact about Hayden. He is by far, by a very significant margin, the most fashionable person on our team, as you can tell. Next up, we have the stars of the game, our voice actors. We're going to kick things off with Dakota.
Hi, my name's Dakota. I am a voice actor, director. I'm the co-producer of our panel here, and well, not panel, just panel and booth in San Japan. I also was a former photographer, and I was also training to be a psychologist for 2 years. I took my love for art and my love for psychology and brought it into a field that I didn't think I'd be doing for the rest of my life, voice acting, and I'd say that it's gone pretty well so far. Yeah.
Fun fact.
Oh, fun fact. Fun fact, my first ever acting coach, teacher, mentor, her name was Kimberly Cipriani, and she worked in the Beauty and the Beast Broadway show that traveled around America. So, yeah.
Absolutely amazing. And last, but certainly not least, we have Hannah.
Hello, my name is Hannah Majors. I've been voice acting for about 5 years now. I've been voice acting since 2018. I've been acting for a long time. I was always in theater, and I love to sing. That is something I love to do. But yeah, I've been a part of this project for the past 2 years. This is the biggest and most amazing role I've been a part of. And it's been such a pleasure working with this team. I mean, the coolest people ever, guys. But yeah, fun fact about me, I'm an escape room enthusiast. I love escape rooms. I've gone to many, I've worked at many, and they are very fun. So yeah. Woo!
So let's give one more round of applause for our panelists. All right, so now let's answer the question that might be on some of your minds, especially our wanderers. What the heck is Project Eden's Garden? All right, well, we got a few bullet points here. Oh, but first, we're gonna show, apologies, I double clicked. I got a little excited,
Just let the trailer rock.
I wanna at least say, okay, so we're gonna show you our release trailer that we dropped. Ooh, I should have looked up the timestamp. At least 2 years ago.
Yes.
At least 2 years ago. So
A little over 2 years ago.
a little over 2 years ago, even, if you can even believe it. So let's go ahead and give that trailer a watch real quick together.
Let's go again. Let's go.
Not gonna run it back, but you can check us out on YouTube. Make sure to like, subscribe, all that good stuff if you wanted to watch it a second time. How many views does it have? Over 1 million. 1.8, almost 2 million. So if everybody in this room watched it like 100 times, maybe we'd hit to 1 million. Thank you. I appreciate that salute. I don't know, maybe YouTube we'd get in like trouble with. Don't. If you do that, I didn't tell you to. But anyways, that's our amazing trailer. I want to give a shout out to both Andrew and Steven, our amazing video editors. Andrew put together that trailer you just watched. Steven puts together all of our devlogs, and we're so blessed to have them helping put together content, bringing it to the community. Couldn't do this without them, so
Also
had to
for-
give them a quick shout out.
Also, for clarity, neither Hayden nor I wrote the music for that trailer. Shout out to Everything Fantasy, who did the original music for that trailer.
Okay, so let's break down a little bit of what you saw, go through these bullet points really quick. So what is Project Eden's Garden? I'm gonna read it right here. So it's a nonprofit fan game based on the murder mystery visual novel series Danganronpa. Anybody here familiar with Danganronpa?
I think they're a smidge.
I would certainly hope so. Okay, but what's nice about Project Eden's Garden, it's a completely unique story with characters, gameplay mechanics, all that good stuff. Completely homebrewed out of our own engine, built in Unity. There's our boy Sweden. And the project is essentially dedicated to recreating the magic of the Danganronpa series, really trying to bring that back with our own unique twist. So that's essentially the game in a nutshell. What's amazing about this team, and at times overwhelming, as I mentioned, we are a distributed team internationally. There are over 60 individuals working on this project when you count for developers, 16 voice actors, mods. It's incredible. If you haven't checked us out on Twitter, or I guess X, or YouTube or Discord. We have a massive community. What's the Discord up to these days? I didn't check before this.
We have 20,000 members in our
20,000 members. Not too shabby for a fan game, am I right? All right. So definitely check us out on X. Check us out on Discord. Check us out on YouTube. The team's always there. They're hanging out. So you have a chance to just chat with them, hang out, and meet other members of the community with like-minded interests. Got to give a shout out to the co-director, the main director of the project, Taco. I've been working with Taco for 2 years now. Unfortunately, they weren't able to make it today, but you can check them out. Here are their socials, as well as all of our socials. You can download the game on GameJolt, itch.io, and like I mentioned, you can check us out on YouTube. I guess we're out of date, actually. We made this presentation about a month ago before the Twitter rebranding. So I prefer the Twitter bird anyways over the X, but, you know, is what it is. That's where you can check us out, though. All right, now let's get to the meat and potatoes of today's panel, the behind the scenes of Chapter 0. And where I really want to start is where, like I mentioned, the stars of our show. I want to talk a little bit about auditioning for Project Eden's Garden. So Dakota and Hannah, I'm going to come to y'all first. Dakota, maybe you can kick it off for us, but this question is for both of you. I just want you to kind of reflect for us back when you were first filming your audition for Project Eden's Garden, what that was like, getting to know your characters, and then, of course, the moment when you were actually casted, when you got news that you were going to be in this project. Dakota, maybe you can answer first.
Sure. So for me, I didn't think I was going to get involved with fan projects. I was mostly going for original stuff. But when I saw the trailer on YouTube and I saw the audition, I just knew I had to try for this. Like I could tell that the team was so well put together. I could tell that you all cared about the product so much. And it was the type of thing that I just really wanted. I knew the second I saw it, I needed to be a part of this. So I spent 3 weeks every single day. I had this huge journal of all the notes I had on Kai. And I just went and I went and I went and I went. If even the tiniest thing wasn't good enough, I redid it again. I would go through the entire the description of the character over and over and over again until I knew exactly what you guys were looking for. And specifically, the description for Kai was really significant for me because for Kai's description, it was talking about how he's a master manipulator. He's this person that can't be trusted, all this stuff. And he's an influencer. So everyone that went for that audition thought, this person is intimidating, this person's manipulative. I thought for a second, what if this is from the perspective of someone that hates him? What if this isn't him at all? So I went in with that, and I think that mindset is what got me to where I am right now. And I'm really happy to be here.
Can you tell us yeah, I love that. And can you tell us, like, what was that moment when you got the confirmation that you were going to be playing Kai? Like, did you celebrate with your parents, friends? What was that moment kind of like for you?
I cried. I cried. So much like Kai, like actual Kai, cries a lot. So what was really funny is, so I tried for every single male character in, what? Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm a voice actor. I should know mic technique. All right, anyway, so what is it? When I got cast for Kai, I cried. What was really cool was I went for every single male character. He was the one that I went the most for, and I got him. And I attribute all the work I put into him on it. And I think the coolest thing is the amount of connection I've had with Kai. Well, I already have with Kai. So in Chinese, my name is Da Kai, Dakota Kai. My boyfriend's name is Kai. Butterflies are actually a really big symbolic thing for me in my life where everything that's ever significantly happened, somehow a butterfly has been involved. And I think that's a really, really cool thing. On a very, I wouldn't say I'm an influencer of like social media of any kind, but
I don't know,
like
you kind of started to embody Kai a little bit though. You got that Kai energy these days. I feel like day by day you become more and more like him.
I like very pretty things, but also I see the value in supporting others and helping influence them to get further in their careers and in their lives. And so and I don't see myself as an influencer in the traditional social media influencer way, but I see myself as an influencer of opportunity and wanting to help people get bigger.
Love that. And then Hannah, I'll restate the question for you, but yeah, just tell us a little bit about learning about your character, filming your audition, and the moment that you heard you were cast.
Of course. One question for you. Was Kai the only character you auditioned for?
No, I went for every male.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Wow. So from the very beginning, I'd always been a fan of Danganronpa. In fact, my best friend actually introduced me to the game, and it was so cool. Playing the game was like such a different experience. It was just awesome. I loved playing those games, and since I started voice acting back in 2018, there were quite a few fangames that would come out, but sometimes they just wouldn't really take off. And anywho, I had auditioned for a few here and there, but then I saw this one in the trailer for this one, and it was insane. I mean, so professional, so well put together. There was so much passion that went behind this project, and I knew I could not miss auditioning for it. And I would keep an eye on their socials. Actually, I would check your guys' socials routinely because I was like, I can't miss it. I can't blink, and then all of a sudden it's already been cast. I'm like, dang it, you know? So I really kept a close eye on it. And when they were released, I looked at every female character I felt like I could realistically portray. And I actually created a Google Doc, and I went in for each character and just kind of added my own interpretation, backstory. Like, I really put a lot of effort into it. I wanted to add context to the lines. And I mean, I was just so dedicated, I really was. And anywho, I auditioned for every female character, I believe, except for Winona and Toshiko, because Toshiko was just, she was too young for me. But yeah, I auditioned for every character. I actually thought, fun fact, I thought that Eloise was my weakest character. I thought that honestly, because I'm so used to, my voice is kind of more like, I don't know, lower set, and I felt like it was more tomboyish, so I was like, oh, maybe Cassidy, I don't know. But yeah, Eloise, I didn't feel the strongest with her. And then, you know, I sent it in, I kind of forgot about it, but I was like, please, 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 in the back of my head. And then I got a message from Taco on Discord, and it instantly started off with like, your interpretation, like it didn't even start off with like you were cast. It started off with your interpretation of the character, and like this huge like paragraph of just like a compliment of how well I did. And I was like, wait, but for who? And then I saw at the very bottom, I was like, oh my gosh, like it was like first thing in the morning, and I just sprung awake, and I was like, this is insane. Oh my gosh. And yeah, it was just unreal, but this is the most life-changing experience ever. Like it's insane. It's insane. So very, very pleasant experience overall.
That's amazing, and I love the.
Jubei, could I add to that real quick?
Yeah, please.
Hannah, correct me if I'm wrong, but there were a couple voice actors who I reached out to thinking they were confirmed cast, but they hadn't been told by the director yet.
Oh no!
And I believe you were one of them.
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
but I know
it
that
might have been
you're like,
Luz.
Good
congratulations.
job,
And
Hayden.
it's like, oh, what are you congratulating me for? You know, no, I don't think that happened to me, but I do recall that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. Yeah, no.
We're learning as we go here. We're building process, as I like to think of it. Okay, that's fantastic. No, but I love the difference between you and Dakota's experience, right? You saying that you felt your audition for that particular character was weakest, where Dakota, you were like, Kai, that's my spirit animal.
Love at first sight,
essentially.
it
And
was that, yeah.
no, I just love that. And so that goes into like the next question I have for y'all. And then Hannah, actually, maybe you can start us off with this one. So this is all about behind the scenes of Chapter 0, but as we've been talking about at our booth, which, by the way, stop by our booth in the indie gaming section of San Japan. We've got free prints, stickers, all that good stuff. We'll sign your posters. But we've been working on the development for Chapter 1 for quite some time now. As far as I know, y'all have been starting to record some voice lines for that as well. Yeah. So Hannah, I'm curious, how do you feel as though your character has evolved from, you know, the moment that you were cast to now, having gone through nearly 2 releases with Project Eden's Garden?
Oh, wow. Honestly, I love Eloise because she has so much. She's like an onion. She has so many layers. But seriously, she has a lot of depth to her. In the prologue, she was much more, you know, like reserved, quiet. You just like kind of wanted to stay behind, you know, in the background. But coming to this new chapter, you start to feel, and I love it because I was speaking to one of the directors on it when I was recording some lines, and you really start to feel her build confidence as the story goes along, and it's really cool to kind of unwrap that. Portraying her, it's a really cool experience. So she's starting off kind of timid, and some people, I've seen some people kind of make this relation to how she represents a swan as kind of like an ugly duckling thing. I kind of I try to channel that actually, because she did start off very, she doesn't know any of these people. She's in a really weird situation right now. And I think slowly but surely, she's a very intelligent person. And I think she's starting to unveil that more and more, participating more in trials. And yeah, I think she's growing a lot. And I'm really excited to see where she goes in these later chapters, because I think she's just a very cool character, honestly. I think she gets even cooler as it progresses. So.
And perhaps maybe I should clarify. I won't necessarily give away too much, but something that you're kind of alluding to that I think is worth clarifying to avoid confusion here is the voice actors, they learn in real time, similar to the audience. They do not have the full script ahead of time. They are given them very
Yes.
kind of prior to the chapter's release, but with a relatively short time frame. So they're learning and developing their character in real
Yes.
time, essentially, which I think is a fascinating way to grow and develop a character, especially over an episodic release like Project Eden's Garden is. So Dakota, same question for you. I'm curious how you feel as though Kai has evolved over, essentially this release and a half that we've worked on now.
I gotta be real with you. How you just said that we don't know everything. I didn't know we were allowed to talk about the chapter 1 lines at all.
Don't talk about the specifics, please.
Was that? Oh
Don't
no,
talk
of
about the
course. But
Chapter 1 is in fact in development.
I would say what I love about Kai is that Kai comes off very reserved in chapter 0, and he doesn't really want to get involved, but the more as the chapter goes along, he's starting to be more active and more and contributing more to the group. And that's sort of something that just kind of keeps, it's just going to keep going from there. And I love how, even though it's not a situation he wants to be in, he's willing to help as much as possible to make sure that everyone gets through it. And yeah, I love his sense of initiative.
Awesome. All right, let's pivot things ever so slightly. Let's talk about the development of Chapter 0. So Sweden, I want to come to you, and I'm going to brag for Sweden because he's a very humble individual. So if I don't do it, nobody will. Sweden has worked on a bunch of different fan games within the Danganronpa community specifically. But Sweden, what I think is interesting about Project Eden's Garden specifically is you really elevated into a leadership role in this project. As we mentioned during his introduction, he is our lead programmer, meaning you are mentoring individuals. You are maintaining a relatively large code base, an intimidating one. I've taken a gander myself. I'm not envious of your position. So I just want to kind of know what that has been like for you, elevating into a leadership role, mentoring others, and essentially maintaining a code base, which, by the way, is representative of a game that has surpassed over 100,000 downloads. So yeah, what's that been like, Sweden?
Overwhelming.
Okay. Elaborate.
Before I get into that, did you make this slide?
No, but I'm really glad that you asked that question. I want to give a quick shout out to Shade, our technical producer. I made the ugly version of this presentation, and then he beautified it for me.
Okay, because I was gonna ask, I don't know if you noticed, but I'd been staring at it in the corner. You see the question mark?
Yes.
That's an unused asset. Where did he get that?
Google Drive?
Okay, well, anyway. But yeah, that was one of the icons that we were actually going to use for like the reticle. Anyway, but mentoring like a lot of the programmers that we have has actually been, it was actually a lot easier than I thought, mostly because I think I'm just blessed with a lot of very talented programmers, which is something that I don't think a lot of game developers, I guess, see that much. Because when I'm working with our programmers, I don't know what it is, if we have the same, brainwave, but every time that I'm talking to them, we always sound like we're on the same page, which having that kind of, which has had me give a lot of trust to these teammates, one of which is here. I trust them a lot. Yeah.
Give it up for Lily. Come on, go give us a wave. Yeah.
But
Dragging all of you in this, by the way, whether you like it or not.
But having these talented programmers with me has been like a huge support when you have such a monumental code base. I've probably spent, I've shown it like a couple times. I don't think we have it, but I have like this Google Drive like map of every single thing that I've like kept track of through the prologue, and it's massive. And having people that I can trust, be able to support me and my the code base with that is like a weight lifted off my shoulders. So yeah.
Amazing. And so one thing that I want to poke at is we've kind of already alluded to the timeline of this project, which is quite an extensive one. We've been working on it, some folks for nearly 3 years, maybe over 3 years, I think Robbie might have hinted at. And so if you're connecting the dots out there in the audience, Sweden also mentioned that he's been programming for about 3 years. So what's interesting about that is you essentially started this endeavor almost entirely alongside Eden's Garden. I know there were projects before it, of course, but so one question I have for you is just kind of maybe talk about one or two things that you've learned along the way. It can be as technical as you'd like, or it's more soft skills. But what are some things that I don't know, maybe you wish you could go back and redo, or just big lessons that you've learned?
Ooh, going back. Oh, if I could turn back time. Ooh.
More comments in the code base.
Hey, yes, actually, that's a great point. Okay, perfect. Yeah. What I would have done, because this is what I struggle with now. The code base for the prologue is actually open sourced. After every after every release, I plan to kind of doll it up a bit and be able to give it out to the community, because if there's a community of programmers that wants to recreate the same kind of stuff that we want to, I think that they should be free to create what they want to. But something that I wish, if I could turn back time and do better, would definitely be documentation, because unfortunately it's now I've become just this grand wizard that I now have this giant code base that I only understand. So I've been trying to spend time creating tutorials for, anybody who probably isn't a programmer, right, that can use this code to create these kind of projects. So yeah, documentation would probably be what I would have done better.
I think you did pretty good for a first try.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Give it up for Sweden. Pretty good for a first try. We take it.
I would like to cut in though. Another thing that you learned a lot from this project is how to efficiently cook rice. So
Wait, I don't think I know this story.
he has a rice cooker on the opposite side of his chair. So he not on a table, by the way, on the floor
Sweden,
behind
what's
his
going on
chair. So I call him a little rice goblin, because he will be in the middle of programming. I'll be watching him do it, and he'll just go, and out appears a whole bowl of rice.
Trust the process. Everyone has their own process. That is Sweden's. We do not judge. We support.
Sometimes you'll be explaining like how this function works, and I feel like you only explain it to me so you understand it better, but you'll finish explaining it to me and I'll be like, cool, but
Yeah.
cool,
So-
but like, how do I make the thing do the thing?
Right. Which actually segues nicely, Anthony. I wanted to ask you the same question. I mean, you've been 3D modeling, I think you said 8 or 9 years now. What's something we have a pretty massive 3D team. I don't know the head count off the top of my head. Kind of people come in and out, of course, it's a volunteer-based team. At least 4, 5, 6 3D modelers who have touched this project. A lot of opportunity for collaboration. What's something that you've learned about your craft?
Oh boy.
Or soft skills, working with others, maybe.
Learning to like make things work for other people. So like whenever I used to make stuff all by myself, I would make it specifically for me with all my errors and mess ups and not naming objects. But then It's like cube was 1 through 430.
I had to deal with that so much. Yeah.
But I will give props, and now we're getting a little technical into like the 3D pipeline. I will say I'm always really happy to handle the integration of your 3D models because I find that the textures and everything it's named pretty dang good. It usually kind of works right out of the box. I very rarely have to hound you for
I've
things.
never been so like, no, you gotta name it like this. You gotta have it like this. It's not optimized enough. You gotta fix it.
Game development is 80% naming conventions. If you can figure that out, you're
Oh my
set.
gosh.
You're set. I'm getting a thumbs up from our audio guy, Justin. So he knows how it goes.
After chapter 1, I'm going through and I'm restructuring the entire Google Drive because some assets are not where they should be.
Okay.
Drives me up
Okay.
the wall.
Hey, if you're volunteering,
Someone
I'm not
take the
gonna
mic
do it.
before I start just going crazy.
I was gonna say it because I remember like for the chapter 1 demo that we've had at our booth, I literally sat down, took 2 weekends, and like all of Wednesday, I spent 5 days
You made
building.
6 builds in like 2 hours. I don't know where
Where-
half of them went. None of them are where they.
I had to delete them because we were out of storage space on the Google Drive. So,
Sorry guys, I'll upgrade our accounts.
I'm getting off them off there.
oh, I didn't tell you guys that I've archived all of every single build that I've made. I actually have the first build that we ever created. It was called like the train scene, and that was the first thing
Dude,
that
that
we
will
did.
never see the
Light of day. That was so broken and bad.
It's like,
But
The sky kind of worked.
yeah,
That was a huge achievement,
Oh,
getting that
yeah,
thing in
yeah.
the sky to work. I'll tell you
that
what.
was kind of my idea.
So actually, I want to interject and add a question here, Sweden. Can you tell us a little bit, because we're talking about how Sweden went through multiple builds. Because if you weren't aware, at our booth here at San Japan, we have an exclusive sneak peek of Chapter 1. You can play the first 15 to 20 minutes. Only available to attendees here at San Japan. So definitely, if you haven't already, swing by. Be sure to play it. 15 to 20 minutes. You won't regret it. But Sweden, I want to go back to launch day. Now, when you launch a game, it can be very stressful. I like to call, there's always a room on the launch day of a game. I like to call it the war room. And it's where a handful of I'm getting a thumbs up, so I got a game developer in the audience, I suppose. So I call it the war room, and it's where a handful, you don't want too many people, right? Because too many cooks, too much noise. A handful of key actors get in a room together. You usually have a programmer who's, flipping the switch, uploading the build. You have some kind of community manager, marketing person who's going to post out on socials. You have kind of the manager who's making sure, trafficking and making sure that like everybody kind of doesn't panic, so on and so forth. And I remember for the release of Chapter 0, I mean, dude, how many builds did you put out on that day? Because this is our first release ever. Naturally, there were some bugs. Not many to give us, we want to give Sweden a lot of credit. It actually went very smooth for a launch. But yeah, how many builds did you put out on release day? And just talk us through that war room experience for you.
wait, are you talking like on release day? Or
On release day, how many new builds did you crank out? Or maybe within the first 48 hours of release, let's say.
So like up until the release, around I think 7 or more. Like I think our current build, I think on the zip file it actually says that it's version 13, like it's the 13th build that I had made. So I think we started on 7 and it was the
Naming
week
conventions.
up until I always remember the week before and the week after release was nightmarish. It was insane on both accounts.
That's just game dev for you.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
I think it went from being releasing the game to damage control as soon as we hit upload.
Yeah.
It just became everyone's like, we can't launch the game, and you're going
Because I
crazy.
had to make the low spec build because everybody was talking
The game won't load, or this part lags
It's
too
too
much.
much, yeah.
You pretty much just ripped out all the nice.
I thought it was more like 50 builds. That's what it felt like when you were there in the moment. Because Sweden, every time a bug popped up, he's like, I fixed it. Here's a new build. Guys, upload it to GameJolt, upload it to HIO. Wait, I have a low spec build? Upload it. It was
Yeah, it was.
you were a trooper. That was an amazing display of skill. I'll tell you the words.
If anything, I'm actually kind of glad now, ever since what was it? During those 2 weekends for this Chapter 1 build, it's probably, if anything, I kind of actually want to ask, you and Taco about seeing if we could publicly release the Chapter 1
That takes
demo.
so much work.
Yeah. But
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see about that one.
Stay
But
tuned.
yeah, from what I've been I've been watching over everybody's shoulders. It's like watching the games. Like, I hope nothing breaks. Yeah, it's like I hope they don't, clip out of bounds or something.
We had one guy try.
Oh, yeah,
As far as I can
one
tell,
guy
he
was
failed.
close.
Yeah,
I
he was
actually
not able
thought
to
he
break our
had-
build, so
I
props to
started
Sweden for
sweating
that.
bullets. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
there's no way.
This guy clearly is like a QA specialist somewhere. I swear, he was an absolute beast.
Yeah, I had really just. I'm so sorry. What were we talking about?
Just the war room on release day. How many builds you cranked out, all
yeah.
that good stuff. Yeah, yeah.
Right. Trying to figure out damage control. It was always. I remember specifically in our Discord saying, if you have a problem, DM me on Discord. And the week after release, I was probably dealing with over 100 people over the course of a single day. So I probably had
That's
to
the
do
number I was
700
looking for.
people.
Thank you. That's what I was fishing for. It was
Yeah.
a lot. And I dare you to find a dev team that's more accessible than this one.
Yeah.
It was a heroic effort what you pulled off there.
Yeah, I think like I would always give, because I think having, if we pushed out something that wasn't, something that everybody can enjoy, I think it was my responsibility to go and help every single person as best I could. I think the most heartbreaking thing was all the people that I couldn't help, where it was like, oh, their hardware was, too weak. And I don't think, I expected so many people to be like super angry or super upset. Out of like that entire week, not a single person was upset with me. Everybody was so nice to
I
me.
was upset.
Yeah.
Dang it, Anthony.
They were just so sweet, and I was probably in tears like that entire week, because I remember it was so heartbreaking, because I remember talking to one person. It was like I was really looking forward to like playing the demo, and it was like, I'm so sorry. But yeah.
But I think it just speaks to your passion and the care you have for the community, for the game. I mean, it was
Absolutely.
inspiring to watch you just go through that. And I will say we did upload a no commentary playthrough on YouTube, so at least
Yeah.
everyone, no matter what your hardware was, you were able to experience the prologue in some way, shape, or form. I do want to take a quick pivot into our 3D workflow process, and I actually I love this. Yeah, you're up, Anthony.
Hey, how you
I
doing?
love this slide so much because you actually see, if you're not familiar with game development in general, kind of what it takes to put a scene together here. We have our iconic tree room, and you can literally see it in the 4 different stages as, it starts out in, I don't know, what do we low poly first, then high res? I'm not sure. And then we
we just-
texture. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Texture it, and then kind of like do a final pass with effects, lighting, so on and so forth.
I didn't work on this room.
That's okay. It was just the one shade put together, and it looks amazing. But I do want to know what rooms you did work on. So Anthony, just talk to me a little bit about what you contributed to Chapter 0, and yeah, just kind of like what rooms you built for those who have played the prologue, and kind of tell us a little bit about your experience building the world of Project Eden's Garden.
So back in, I think it was May of 2021, I think,
Yeah.
whenever they
Yeah.
first brought me on, and they were like, make this gross looking closet room. And I was like, yo, that's tight. I'll do that. And it was just interesting because like my previous workflows were trying to make things like super hyper realistic with like, higher poly counts. But then with the Danganronpa style, it's like very simple, like it has realistic aspects, but it's not trying to be like, 4K ray tracing. So, and also trying to make it work on, potato hardware was like my number one goal. I mean, I think with Chapter 1, we pretty much nailed. I'm pretty happy with the optimizations we made with that one. So, making the room, I think. Yeah, that was the first room. And then later on, it was the janitor's closet.
Oh, the jam.
Yeah, that was the first room they gave me to do. I worked on that, and then I passed it on to some other folks because.
Panic, right? You passed it Panic.
Oh no, he wasn't on the team. He wasn't.
I thought he touched the janitor's closet.
No, that was the boiler's room.
Oh, you're right.
So janitor's closet, worked on that, and then I think I did the 4 storage closets that are
Yeah.
before that.
I think you did the entire basement, didn't you?
No, I think that was the Lily 3D modeler.
Oh, you're right.
But I think
There are no shortage of rooms in this game, by the way. I mean, like seriously, this university is massive, and
But
it
yeah,
just keeps getting bigger.
and then I was tasked with the storage closets, and that was fun because it's like, oh, I can just shove all these props in a room, set them to be like, have physics, and just make them go wild, then freeze them. That was fun. But I think we ended up scrapping all of them because there was too many objects.
Yes, there was. I remember I think Taco told you that you'd turn it down.
But like now it's inconsistent with the new thing. The dialogue is like, look how messy this room is.
It's actually quite a
it's like
tidy closet.
pristine.
Yeah.
It's like, so chapter 1, if we have time, I kind of want to redo that and just make it that. Or
The plight of the artist, the work is never done. We just have to tell them it's done and ship. So.
but usually how our pipeline is that, someone does a specific phase, so either 3D modeling, texturing, unwrapping, implementation, either one person handles that entire process, then hands it on for someone to do another part of it. So like I said earlier, just preparing it for other people. So like naming objects, because I don't want to be scrolling through like 400 cubes. And then again, I would be like, why are there 400? That's so wasteful of resources. Fix it. But a lot of like feedback was like, because it's the first time I ever had to like get feedback and work on that. So that was a challenge to get used to, of like someone pretty much giving me a sticky note that says, fix it. And I'm like, all right, let's do this. But yeah, like some of those rooms look awesome, bro. And
Oh
then
yeah,
there's-
absolutely. Especially with Shade's lighting pass, like it just really brings those
Yes,
rooms to
like-
light. So shout out to Shade. You're gonna keep hearing his name because he's a jack of all trades, Swiss Army knife. He builds PowerPoints for us. He lights
does-
our rooms.
He does stuff that no one else either has the time or can do. And he
keeps
just-
us organized. It's a shame he's not
It's a
here.
lot
He's
of data
really a
to
superstar.
gossify your presentation.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, like literally, my presentation was just a gray background with white bullet points, and then it became this somehow. I'm still kind of in awe. Okay, well, I want to move along here just because I want to make sure we have plenty of time for a fan Q&A as well at the end. So I'm going to actually move down to composing, hear from our rock stars a little bit. So I actually have a personal goal this year. We're coming up on December pretty soon. I want the Project Eden's Garden OST to be my most played album on Spotify. I'm trying, you know how Spotify does the year Wrapped? I'm trying to be in the 0.001% fan base right now. Yeah. We have a speaker at the end. I'm playing it off my Spotify account. Got to get those streams in. So I guess I want to like start with just kind of hearing from. Let's start with Hayden. Just tell us a little bit of the process of building the OST and what that was like. Just peel back the curtain of what the pipeline is like, how you collaborate with other members of the team, so on and so forth.
Yeah, so what typically happens is we'll get the script. Some tracks will be written just like ahead of time because we know like, oh, we'll need a theme that's similar to this theme from Danganronpa. Like sort of like it'll slot in here, we know for sure. But then we'll go through the script and look for anywhere else where we might need something else. And I'll make a Google Doc with mine and Robbie's names. We each have our own column. And then I'll put like, I'll just divvy out the tracks until they're about even. There have been a couple times where there was a track that I really wanted to do that Robbie had. So like I messaged him later and I was like, hey, can we trade these? So there is an element of that. And
Forgive you for taking that approach.
I believe it was supposed to be even for the prologue as well. I think Robbie just got really busy, so it ended up a little lopsided. But going forward, we hope that it's more even. But that's really it as far as like the process of deciding who gets what. It's kind of just mostly random, and then we pitch in like, hey, I would like to take this one. I would like to take this one, and then we pick up each other's slack wherever there is any.
So what I think is fascinating about that, Robbie, I want to bring this question to you. I think it's fascinating that we have two composers who, as we said in the intros, co-composers. You're both essentially lead level, where you have full autonomy over your tracks. And I think a risk that comes with that is, for lack of a better way to put it, a disjointed soundtrack, something that doesn't feel unified under one single vision. But the two of you, what I find most impressive, the music is obviously amazing, streaming on Spotify, yada yada yada. But yeah, please. But I never feel that. I could literally listen to the soundtrack start to finish, and I don't think I would know. There are obviously now that I know you guys so well, I can kind of pick up on stylistic choices, and I've learned that nuance. But if you just go into it blind, you would assume that it's a single vision. So, Robbie, what's that like working with a second composer, and how have you and Hayden just mind melded the way that you have to create a cohesive piece of art like this?
So actually, I'm gonna throw this back to when Hayden first joined the team, because I was part of the interview process, and I was talking with the director at the time about bringing in a second composer. And we interviewed Hayden, and initially I was kind of skeptical about it because of the exact point that Juve just brought up of, if there's more than one person writing music for the project, there is a very good chance that this track is a Hayden track, and this track is a Robbie track, and there's like, you will tell the difference, it will kind of break the immersion, it's not gonna work. And I remember after the interview, I was like, you gotta bring this guy on. Like, he and I are already speaking the same language, and it's been like a 30-minute interview. Like, we are going to work just fine together. And now, like, I feel like immediately once we started working, Hayden and I both kind of sat down and started talking about, okay, what do we want to do for the overall sort of soundtrack vision of this? Because I think we both have very similar writing processes and styles that we mesh really well with. So I'm not worried about the workflow. I'm sort of worried about making sure that the character of everything is all together. And I distinctly remember we talked about like what soundtracks we both like to listen to and like what inspirations we were immediately taking. And I think you named a specific track from, I think it was like a Sonic game, or it was
Probably.
and we both like, and I was like, wait, that's exactly the track that I was thinking of for this exact track. So I
It's
was
the
like,
mind
okay,
meld.
we're
I'm
fine.
telling you,
Like,
it's spooky
we're gonna be
sometimes.
all
I don't know how it happened.
Yeah, if I could add on to that, that's always one of the most difficult things when you're writing music for a game, is to keep the sound unified. Like, how do you make everything sound like it's from the same game, but it doesn't all sound the same? It's a really hard like thing to get right. And I think we've both done a pretty good job at keeping things in line, but still having enough branching out so that everything doesn't feel the exact same. So, you know, and going chapter by chapter, you're always finding new inspirations. So, for example, like one of the writers on the team, Fire, we talk a lot, and he got me into Bjork. And so now I'm like itching to try, you know, like Bjork style music. And you have to like contain yourself, like, does this fit the game? Like, you have to consider the game first. But at the same time, you can still get a little creative. There's a track in the chapter 1 demo that's not quite finished yet, but we put it in anyway. It's called Beautiful Tranquility, and you can tell it's from the same game, but there are bits where it sounds very different from everything else. And I think as long as you ground it enough, you can branch out a little bit.
Amazing. I love that. And we teased this at the beginning of the panel, but Robbie, you gave a live performance of some of the soundtrack not too long ago, maybe about, has it been a year already? Jeez.
It was in June of last year.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Well, time flies. I thought it was like last month. But Robbie, can you just tell us a little bit about what that experience was? And I just tell the story because I think it's amazing.
So at my university, I'm now in my getting my master's degree, but when I was getting my undergrad, I had to have a recital at the end of the year to graduate. And most of the music that I had written while I was at my university was orchestral, because a decent chunk of it was for this game, actually. And so I, you know, at the school, you know, their whole sort of thing is like, for composers, they expect you to do more chamber-based things where you don't get more than, you know, maybe max 8 or 10 people in a room and playing your piece at the same time. And I said, well, I kind of need to do an orchestra thing because it wouldn't be representative of what I've done here if I didn't. So I put out a call for musicians expecting to get maybe like at maximum 30. It ended up being an 85-piece orchestra.
Oh my God.
And I basically brought that to the table, rehearsed them about basically once a week on Saturdays. I did not have very fun Saturdays until I was rehearsing with people. And we did that for probably about 3 months or so. And I had a program of about 5 pieces, and one of them is the soon-to-be-released main theme of Project Eden's Garden. And it was a huge success. It was a great performance. My school will never let anyone else do something like that again after that, but it went over really well, and a lot of the team live streamed in for it.
The team was geeking out about this.
No,
This is like one of the coolest moments of the project.
It was very lucky, and a lot of the performers have expressed that they really want to be involved in doing the soundtrack for the project, which is the reason why we announced in one of the devlogs that a lot of the music will involve live musicians doing recordings, because they've been convinced by this project just as much as the rest of us have.
Where can people go to watch it, to listen to it?
They can go to my YouTube channel.
The
at
Robbie Good Music YouTube channel.
And you can see the full recital, and you can see the individual performance of the main theme as well. But the main theme will end up sounding quite a bit different and quite a bit more professional than it sounds on YouTube already. But if you want to see me in a fun suit waving a stick around in front of people, it is this suit. It is this suit.
It is that suit. I wasn't going to call you out on it, but Hayden did, our fashionista. But yeah, it's the same suit.
Yeah, it's on YouTube for anyone to watch. If you look it up, you can find it. And yeah, it's every step of working on this project seems to just bear more and more opportunities as we do it, which is this project is literally the gift that keeps on giving, you know, and that is absolutely a testament to that, I feel.
Yeah, adding on to that real quick, I mentioned this in a podcast we did, but we got to collab with Nicole and Scotty. They're a musical duo, and it's just really cool being able to collaborate with like lyrical musicians and do something different, because I have no background in lyrical music. So it was really fun to work with them on that, and we hope to have more opportunities like that in the future.
Absolutely amazing. So I want to close out our portion of the questions so we can open up to the audience here. But I have one last question for our composers. I'm just curious, what is your favorite track off the soundtrack? And I'm really interested in this because I want to see if you pick your own track or if you pick each other's. It'll be very interesting to see the dynamic that plays out here.
We came prepared for this.
Okay.
We kind of cheated. We decided to name our favorite of each of ours.
Oh my goodness, no drama.
So
Whatever.
yeah, just to keep
Sorry
things
guys, I
nice.
tried.
I would never.
Yeah. So, do you want to start?
No.
Okay. For my own, I would probably say Case Closed. It's not super. It's not super complex, but I think it was really fun. It takes a lot of the Eden's Garden motifs and the Danganronpa main theme motifs and like mixes them around in a fun way. So that was really fun to do. And my favorite track of Robbie's is definitely the main theme. Even though we don't have it yet in its final form, I still think it serves the game super well. It's really great.
Thank you. So my favorite track of Hayden's, I was gonna say Case Closed, but he took it. I think my favorite track of yours is probably Genesis, the main title track of the game. I feel like once the main theme releases and you come from the main theme right into Genesis, it's going to have this perfect sort of dichotomy of what are the two major feelings that this game sort of strikes in you. And I feel like Genesis is the perfect sort of encapsulation of the more mellow, more subtle, and more dramatic side of things that is not as bombastic and cinematic as the main theme is. For my stuff, I would say in terms of in general, the main theme is my favorite track, but since that's not out yet, my favorite of the prologue tracks that I wrote was probably Talk It Through, Think It Out, which is a track that plays like I think twice in the trial, in the prologue. It's between that and Connecting the Dots, but Talk It Through, Think It Out was a lot of fun for me because I messed with a lot of sound that I don't traditionally do. I don't have a great background in electronic stuff. This project has actually given me a lot more experience with that. And that track is almost exclusively electronics. So it was a lot of fun to mess around with sound just as much as it was with harmony, which is what I'm more used to. And I was talking with someone on the staff this weekend. They asked me the same question. They were like, what's your favorite track that you wrote? And I said, probably Talk It Through, Think It Out, because I feel like it encompasses the the mood that we were going for, which is very contemplative and very laid back, and it doesn't go too far in one direction. And they were like, well, then how come it like gets really, really exciting towards the middle portion? I said, because I wanted to write a funk track in the middle of writing this piece, and I got a little carried away, and I think it worked.
Yeah, I think that's a problem I've run into a ton of times, where I'll like be writing a track, and then there's a million things that you think of that like, oh, I want to do this, and you just shove them all in, and then everybody's like, well, why is it? I thought it was supposed to be like this. Why does it sound like this now? And I'm like, all right.
I got a little carried away. It happens.
I will say, I'm happy you guys said talk it through, think it out, and case closed, because those are the first two things I put on my favorites list on Spotify.
There you go. So now for all of you who haven't heard the soundtrack, you've got some tracks to check out on Spotify. Good starting point, if you will. All right, so at this point, I want to open it up to the fans to ask questions. So I'm going to come down. We're essentially going to set up a microphone right down here in the stand. Lily's going to help kind of mediate that. No stupid questions. Yes, give it up to Lily. Yes. Please do not be shy. The devs would love to answer your questions. I'm trying not to stumble down the stairs here. Hopefully, y'all can still hear me. Hey. All right. And we have 3 prizes, as I think I mentioned at the top of the panel, that we will be giving away randomly to those who ask questions. So let's go ahead and start forming a line and have at it.
Also, shout out to Justin, our sound guy, for putting this all together.
Yeah,
Give it up for Justin. Yeah.
So now when you speak into the microphone, you'll think of him.
Think of him.
Give it up for the stage.
So yeah, again, if you have a question, please just line up in the aisle and we'll try and get through as many of these as possible. So what is your name?
Hector.
Hector, nice to meet you. Okay, so there's a question about copyright and fan games.
Okay, yeah, sure. Okay, I'm curious about the issue about creating a fan game and copyright laws. So how do you navigate that field?
By not making money.
Yeah. We actually, I think, have very little, if not, I don't think we actually have any intellectual property of Danganronpa or Spike Chunsoft, because I don't think they can really copyright like gameplay or specific stories.
Or art style.
Yeah, or an art style. But just, so we, don't get attacked by the company, we have the game like totally free. We don't make any money off of this project at all.
And out of respect for the other fan Danganronpa projects as well that are also not making any money, I feel like it's only fair that we, do the same, take the same approach. It keeps us out of hot water, and it also makes sure that everybody feels comfortable on the team.
I don't even want to make money, man. I just want people to play the freaking game.
Yeah.
Like, dude.
Hi, what is your name?
Addie.
Addie. And what is
Give up for Addie.
So the question is, how did you decide, we don't have any writers here, but kind of what was the process behind deciding about the characters and their ultimate talents? I don't know if anyone's able to answer that.
I can answer this a little bit. So the characters and their ultimate talents were decided way back when with the old director. He already had it kind of laid out as to, all their names, he worked with Nefast, our lead artist, to get their designs. And their ultimate talents were all set out. But I think even before, because this project was originally supposed to be a stage play for that was like a 2-second thing, and then it switched to a game.
Are we dropping that lore facts?
So
I want to do a musical.
I've never heard that ever.
Later.
I believe the characters were even designed before that, so very early. Obviously, their personalities and their backstories have drastically shifted once the writing team came in. But yeah, I think Nefast and the former director, they really just nailed the designs. And the talents, I think, are all pretty interesting. So yeah, that was unfortunately way before most of us. So.
Wait, sorry, I forgot we were giving out prizes.
Oh, we'll do it afterwards.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much. Hi, what's your name?
Sydney.
Sydney, and what?
Like Australia.
So I noticed in the announcement trailer, Toza's design is a little different. I was wondering if there would be a way to explain the slight change in his design without spoiling any plans for the plot.
From my understanding, the only reason we changed his design is because he was too complicated to draw over and over again, and the artists were like, no, we're gonna change him. Plus, I think he looked too edgy. Now he looks cool.
Yeah.
He looks like the funny goat man.
Yeah, I think that was one of the things that the writers were talking about. Yeah.
It was a combination of that and he's sort of got this goofy side to him because he still needs to be like the face of the game, the mascot. And we felt like edgy anime boy in a mask wasn't quite interesting enough. So we gave him like the full goat look. So he's more like immediately like whoa, what is this guy
Plus,
about?
he has that whole silhouette thing going for him.
Yeah. Just a more interesting design. So yeah.
Plus more mystery.
Thank you so much.
Sorry, no spoilers.
Yeah.
Hi, what is your name?
I'm Kathy.
Hi, Kathy.
Hi, Kathy.
Yeah, it's a question about the Chapter 1 demo. Kathy has not played it yet, but a question about the Chapter 1 demo.
Yes, so I have some friends who haven't played the prologue at all, but I do want to introduce the game to them. So they're at the con right now. So I was wondering if it was like beginner friendly.
So the chapter 1 demo actually gives context from the prologue. There are a couple of flashback moments. So while I guess for the prologue, the biggest thing that it would give you is a lot of context of kind of meeting the characters and seeing who they are. And chapter 1 has more, just seeing these characters interact with each other in their situation.
Thank you.
We have the prologue and the chapter 1 at the booth, by the way. So if they wanted to play all of the prologue, they totally
it is
could.
like
It's like 3 or
hours.
4 hours, but they can if they want to.
You guys aren't doing
Yeah,
anything
But you
else
can
here,
download
right?
it for free.
Oh yeah.
Just play the game. Download it.
Thank you. We are just going down the line to
Oh, geez,
vet some of the
Diana,
questions to make the process easier. Oh. If you haven't met Cherry, she's IRL Diana live action. Live action Diana, unofficial.
She is winning San Japan.
Yes.
She wants to.
Cherry,
All right. What is your question?
Which character did you have the most fun designing?
Most fun what?
Most fun designing.
I think it'd be better if we just named
I
our favorite
believe
character.
Nefast said, I don't want to get this wrong, but I feel like he would have said Jean.
He would have said Jean.
I think he liked designing Jean.
He's got a lot
And
of
Jean used to be way thinner and skinnier, and then he got like beefed up. But I think Nefast liked Jean the most, like designing Jean.
We love a good himbo.
by the
Thank
way,
you.
Everyone in
really,
the audience say
really
something.
fast. Oh, really fast. Cherry.
Cherry.
On the first day, Cherry. Wait, Cherry, come back.
Cherry. Sorry, come back.
On the first day, Cherry put together an entire fan meetup for us, took the time for that, also made this incredible Diana cosplay. Can we just give a quick round of applause for Cherry? Thank you.
Hi. Hi, what's your name? Cool. And what is your question?
I was just wondering, what everyone's favorite part of working on a project is in one sentence.
One sentence.
One sentence favorite part of working on the project.
Should we go down the line?
Yeah.
Juve, you start.
Favorite part about working on the project?
Yeah, just getting to work with so many inspirational, hardworking, motivated developers. I mean, this every day on the project rejuvenates me, and it just, I really can't say enough. I joke that I was the chaperone, but it really is an honor for me to be part of this journey. So just getting everybody who you see here, everyone in the audience, just getting to work with them every week, that's my favorite part.
That was a little more than one sentence, but okay. Sentence? Oh,
Yeah, it's
crap.
harder than it sounds.
Sweden gaming.
Okay. Happy to. Having the game work.
I like that one, yeah. Making it run well.
Yeah. In one sentence, collabing with the writers.
Yes, I would also say that, but I'll say something different. Just the fan feedback and the internal dev feedback with everybody's work is just incredible.
Yeah.
I would say it's connecting with people from all over the world. It's something I've always enjoyed. I've been networking since I was 13, and that's something that I take a lot of pride in, is knowing people from everywhere and being able to take in as much culture as I possibly can.
That was 3 sentences.
Oh,
It was a run on it.
A lot of comments.
I'm gonna say meeting and collaborating with many talented and just amazing people with amazing personalities.
All right, I have my sentence now.
I should have said that.
Watching
Okay,
people
yeah.
watch the chapter 1 trailer and then being like, oh my God, that looks so good.
Thank you so much. Hi there, what is your name?
My name's actually Kai.
It is actually Kai. And actually, Kai, what is your question?
Yo, I heard.
Going off of one of the questions from earlier, what was the idea behind the characters' animal motifs?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I don't think
I
anyone
wish
has.
I guess without spoilers, if they do involve spoilers.
I mean, there's like the ones that are like kind of obvious. Kai's is a butterfly, right?
Yeah, he's like a social butterfly.
Yeah, yeah.
I think, I don't know how to say this without, I don't want to like give anything away or anything. We don't really consider the animals too much when it comes to the plot per se, but like the animals do, I feel like, signify each character pretty well. Like Jean is a dragon, he's big and strong, I guess, you know. Eloise is the swan, like Hannah mentioned earlier, that sort of connection. Kai's the social butterfly. The chameleon, she's good at adapting, you know.
Damon is a snake. That's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah. No one likes Damon.
I hate Damon Mike
But yeah, I think they, even with like the new character personalities, all the animals still like line up pretty well.
Yeah.
I think the writers did a really good job with that.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, it's the guy from
Hi.
the raincoat.
What is your name?
My name is Bobby.
Bobby, and what is your question?
My question is about Chapter 0 and what was the hardest part of it to develop? Because there was the whole introductions, there was the investigation portion, and there was the trial.
Sweden's got a word.
Yeah,
That's a very loaded question. Ooh, hardest. If anything,
Living up to people's
expectations, probably. Yeah. The hardest was probably, there were specific things that the writers would ask for that we did. Some of them we did end up putting in that were just like, from my perspective, out of scope. And I think it was hard to, implement things that were actually not in the Danganronpa, shown at all in the games. And that's where like I had to get a little creative and investigation. Oh, that's a great point. Okay, yeah, well, a great example of this was there is a moment where in a 3D hallway you have to click on something and the camera will pan into a 2.5D perspective. That is never done in the Danganronpa games, and that was a little difficult, a little tricky to set up.
Thank you so much. Hi there, what is your name?
Hi, my name is Bree.
And Bree, what is your question?
I wanted to ask about how's your process when you develop free time events? No spoilers needed, but is it like the same as the canon games? Is it going to be like different design elements?
Sweden, do you want to answer this since it's more on like the design aspect?
Yeah, I was gonna say we won't go into it too much since free time events for clarity were not part of the prologue. But I will say that Similar to the project philosophy from the top, we want to feel like Danganronpa, but with our own unique twist. I know that's very vague and very broad, but I think that applies to what you can expect for Chapter 1 and all things to come.
Thank you so much.
Weeby.
What is your name?
Well, I go by Weeby online, so I'm going by that here too as well. I have a question for the voice actors mostly. Since it is a Danganronpa fan game, how nervous do you guys get when you get scripts and new lines? And do you ever worry about the fate of your character?
All the time. All the time. Do you want to start? Up to you.
You start.
Okay. Okay. So, yes, 100% every single time. The biggest thing is they'll actually hide all that information from us, even when they give us the scripts. So we won't even know what the heck is going on most of the time, depending on how they frame it, right? So, like, even now that I've seen my script, I don't know if it's, I don't know.
No one is safe. No, seriously though, no one
Finding out
knows.
the
Like,
same exact time.
none of the voice actors know.
That's funny.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to get too detailed, but it's
we're
just
so in the dark.
yeah.
It's scary.
You're like, oh yeah, and then you're like, but wait, what if it's all fake? And like so. Yeah, no, it's there's a little anxiety to it, just a little, but either way, I mean, it's really fun. So whatever, roll with it, I guess. But yeah.
Thank you.
Oh my God, it's Junko and Noshima.
I want to make sure we can get through all questions. So for the next, we can do about 7 to 10 more minutes of questions before we close. So we're going to do some rapid fire answers for the next few.
Hi, what is your name?
My name is Blake, and can I just go ahead and say the question? My question is, what has it been like being so openly accepted by the Danganronpa community, like as a whole? Fangame, original, like the entire series has basically just openly embraced you guys, and how does that feel?
Surreal. It's wild. Just, I was going to talk about this earlier, but every time that we drop a trailer or we drop a devlog or we do something, everyone is so openly positively receptive. Like, we get very, very little negativity, like, period, let alone hate. Like, it's all almost overwhelming positivity from everybody, and from just our own community to the Danganronpa community at large. And it really does sort of make us feel like we are contributing something to a community that is starving for content. But yeah, but
I shared the screenshots in the Discord, and everyone is like, they're just.
It feels very special for us to be involved in such a great video game project on its own, let alone one that finds its home in another community.
Thank you. Hi, what is your name and your question?
Hi, my name is Ballant, and I've actually got 2 questions. One might be really quick, though. How does Diana's symbol symbolize her? Like, what does that mean?
Are you talking about her chameleon?
Yeah.
Because they're
Hair
cool,
color.
and Diana's cool.
I mean,
Without spoilers.
yeah, I think just taking it to mean that she's adaptive at face value is the best possible answer I can give.
Yeah, she's a makeup artist, so she can.
And she's pretty.
And everyone loves her for some reason.
And then the second one might be really quick, too, but what's the most unexpected hurdle you guys ran into throughout the project?
Unexpected what?
Hurdle.
Getting the game done.
Yeah, getting the game working.
Yeah.
All right, next question.
Hi, what is your name and your question?
My name's Nick, and my question is more of a technical one. So you guys said the hardest hurdle was probably getting the game to work. So knowing that, you guys were working in Unity, right? So my question is, like, if you could use like another game engine or another coding language, what would that be?
Well, yeah, it's a funny story.
Another game engine.
Coding language, what would it be?
Oh, good question.
Roblox game editor.
That's got it.
Don't plug Roblox.
I know that the Unreal Engine is very good, although I have a friend who uses it a lot, and Danganronpa is actually a very heavily UI-based game, and according to my friend who's been doing like Unreal Engine for like a couple of
12.
yeah, he's been doing
Either
it for
14 years or since
yeah
2012.
like over 10 years. He has mentioned that for things that are a lot heavier in UI development, it's better to kind of like go to Unity. So based off of that, I'd probably go maybe the Godot engine, because I know that I actually think they're starting to do like a lot more other good stuff for Godot. And I think like the code language script is similar to JavaScript, and I think a lot of people end up using that for like a bunch of different other things. So it's a diverse language to learn. So yeah, probably Godot engine.
Thank you. I think we can get through the rest. Yeah. Hi, what is your name and question?
My name is Destin, and my question is, after Eden's Garden, would y'all have any plans of continuing it like how Trigger Happy Havoc went to Goodbye Despair, with like intertwining both each series of how Makoto helped Hajime in Danganronpa Goodbye Despair, and like any other games that connect to Eden's Garden?
So the question is, are we making a sequel?
Yeah, so here's what I'll say to this to avoid spoilers and keep it relatively broad. While it's probably premature to talk about what comes next, since we're still very much deep in development of Project Eden's Garden as an initial installment, I will say one thing that we talk about internally on the team is just the magic of this group of individuals and how much we, would love to kind of keep that together. Now, whether that is something in the future related to Eden's Garden or something else entirely, to be seen. There's no great answer for it right now, but it does feel like in a lot of ways with the community support we talked about and all that, it feels like lightning in the bottle. So we are extremely interested, although not committed at this point, to something beyond this project.
Thank you. Hi, what's your name and question?
Hi, my name is Akina. Just a yes or no question. Have you guys already planned out on like who's gonna die or like, like?
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll leave it there. Yes.
Yeah. All the major story beats as well
Yes.
have all been planned. It's just the script writing in between them.
What is your name, good sir?
The fate has been sealed one way or another by the writers.
Give us a plot twist.
Hi, what's your name and your question?
Hi, so my name is Kevin. I'm the voice of Tozu for Project Eden's Garden. I actually have two questions.
Give it up for Tozu!
Hi, Kevin.
Could I get a plot twist?
Plot twist! But yeah, so I do have one serious question and one more of a joke question. So the serious question, and I'm sure a lot of people are wondering as well, is there any plans or do you have any announcements regarding possibility for Mara's VA auditions?
One of our own voice actors dropping this bomb on us. Internally, yes, we do have a plan. Not ready to talk about it yet, but know that the plan is in the works. We are very excited because we know that everyone is waiting with bated breath, kind of rounding out the cast, as it were. More on that to come, but not before Chapter 1. Chapter 1 first.
Understandable. And the other one, Kai.
Yes, Tozu?
I hate to put you on the spot like this. It is quite unprofessional of me. Would you hypothetically go on? I'm sorry, I'm having the jitters.
Okay.
Would you go to Eden's prom with me?
You've seen it here first, folks. The crack ship nobody saw coming. Thanks, Kev.
We're going to prom!
We're going to Disneyland. Chapter 1, spoilers. Tozu and Kai go together to Eden's prom. Hi. What? Another person I've never seen before. What is your name and question?
Hi, my name is Ilias. My question isn't as emotionally intense, but so what were your expectations prior to the release of the trailer and release of the prologue? Like, were you guys expecting like 100,000 downloads.
1 billion.
No.
And how does it feel to be in San Japan? You know, having your own panel after working for over 2 years on this project. Like, how do you guys feel?
So Robbie and I were like one of the first 6 people on the team, like in the early days before the trailer came out. We both probably walked into this. I was not expecting the trailer to get as much. I was thinking like, oh, 100K views would have been like, oh yeah, we did it, right? And then it went to 1 million. I was like, and everybody like started joining the Discord. I was like, this is kind of getting out of hand.
We did 1 million in a week. It was
Yeah, that was crazy.
I have no idea how on earth that happened still to this day. I'll answer the second part. How does it feel to be in San Japan? I have said this to a number of people on the team, and I'm going to keep saying it. But the moment that I leave Texas and land back home, I'm going to be like, well, that weekend didn't happen because you people are funny characters on my screen that speak to me over Discord. You aren't real people. Like.
Thank you. Okay, so this will be our final question. We'll have to wrap up pretty shortly after. What is your name and question?
I'm Shasha. I'm the mom of Cherry. And she is really shy, but she wants to dedicate this award yesterday.
Yes,
She won as the best walk-on performance, more than 100 or 150 contestants. And she was one of the winners, and she wants to dedicate this award. And they announced everything, you know, Diana Venecia from Project Eden's Garden, and she wants to dedicate this to all of you. She's really your biggest fan. Yes, she's really your biggest fan. And her brothers too are big fans. Thank you.
Thank you for giving us Cherry.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We're gonna wrap up the Q&A, and I'll pass this back to Juve.
We need the prizes.
No. I have everyone's name in a random generator. I got it. Guys, come on. I'm Juvie. I got it coming. All right, so really quick, just want to go through some upcoming events. We're going to breeze through this. So as we have mentioned, we are currently in development of Project Eden's Garden Chapter 1. We don't have an exact release date yet, so stay tuned. The best way that you can keep track of us is following us on Twitter or X, as it's now known. We also have an Instagram. I would highly encourage everyone here, join our Discord server, say hi, tell us that you met us at San Japan. Like I said, we're all very active on there. You can chat with the devs, all that good stuff. Keep the conversation going. You can also download the prologue, both on itch.io and Game Jolt. And I will say on our YouTube channel, we try to, we always say like once a month. It ends up being more like once every 2 months. We put out a devlog just to keep you updated on, you know, the happenings, different events that we're running within the server. We do art contests. We do a little bit of everything. There's always something going on with Project Eden's Garden. Yeah, we have an art contest running right now. So definitely check out the Discord, check out the YouTube. That's the best way to kind of get the latest and greatest from us. And yeah, you know, we've been having a blast at San Japan. Otherwise, I think that, yeah, Be There or Be Square, Chapter 1. I think that pretty much covers it for us. So before we hand out the awards and everything, can y'all just one more time give a round of applause to our amazing panelists today? We were also so fortunate to have so much of the team able to make it out to San Japan. So I just want to say, if you're comfortable doing so, if you're on the staff, voice actor, moderator, and Discord, please just quickly stand up so the audience can give you a round of applause as well. Absolutely amazing team. We are at exactly 1 o'clock, a panel that ends on time. Sheesh! Amazing, amazing. Really quick, I have the winners. So the winners of the prizes here just come up to me afterwards and we'll hand them out. And that's going to be Sydney, Kai, and Bree. Congratulations. From the bottom of my heart, thank you all so much for coming out to the panel today. I hope you all enjoy the rest of San Japan, and I'll catch you next year.
Really quick. Wait, really quick. Let's get a photo with everybody.
Oh, yes.
Let's do it, yeah.
How are we going to do
Everyone
that?
cool with like crowding up right here? We can all get a photo? Yeah, is that cool?
All right, perfect. So anybody who wants to come to the front, we'll do a group photo. That sounds amazing.
Let's do it.
All right. One more snap. And we're good. Thank y'all so much.